finally passed the first phase of my 10k FTMO challenge account. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Hugh Clark, and in today's video I'm going to walk you through the exact trades that I took that got me through phase 1 of my 10k FTMO journey. Now, to be very honest, there wasn't so much that I could do better because I stuck to my trading plan almost perfectly. Before we head to the charts, I want to establish this. For me to gain the direction of the asset that I intend to trade, I need to understand or gain a fair understanding of the geopolitical affairs and the fundamentals surrounding that particular asset. So for this week, I went long twice on gold, and there were several factors that influenced this decision. 1. There's been an ongoing feud between Lisa Cook and the Trump administration. 2. The U.S. Court of Appeal for the Federal Circuit has ruled Donald Trump's tariffs as illegal. 3. Trump also filed an appeal to this decision to the United States of America's Supreme Court. Then 4, you also have a growing expectation of an interest rate cut for September. And then 5, you have the yield rates for several countries like the UK, like Japan, even the United States of America and the Eurozone all rising. So with these factors, I've definitely been bullish for gold throughout this week. Alright, so now let's head straight to the chart. For gold, I basically had 2 setups taken. So heading to the 15 minutes time frame. The first trade I took was on Tuesday, and honestly guys, that should have been enough for me to actually pass the first phase of my FTMO challenge account. But I stuck to my trading rules, and due to sticking to it strictly, I couldn't really take full advantage of this opportunity. Alright, so for this week, Monday started on a very dull note because we had bank holiday for the dollar, right? So on Monday we had a little bit pullback from this high, and then a nice build up from here, price taking out this high from this low right here, right? So we had a demand zone formed in here, and that was where I had my point of interest at, right? So if I should zoom this in a little bit, you could see that price tend to move in there. All right, have mitigated that demand zone. Then from there we had started to see a nice reaction towards the upward side. Yes, we had a minor pullback in here, but then with the ongoing fundamentals and geopolitical affairs surrounding gold, there was a high chance that should price take out this high, even though price is trading at an all-time high, there was a good possibility of price just keep moving upwards. All right, so I had a good entry right over here. I had an entry here, and I placed my SL safely below these lows right here, this liquidity low. So as soon as price hit in here, I had my entry tag for a buy stop order. Initially I was targeting a good 2 hour setup right here. So we had something like this for a 2 hour, I don't know, something like that, right? So that was a clean 2 hour, but then this should have been enough for me to pass my phase 1. I have a methodological approach for managing my trades. Now some being that should price travel to 1 hour, all right, what I tend to do is that once price hits 1 hour, what I'm going to do is to shift my SL to entry. So should price hit 1 hour somewhere around here, I shift my stop loss to entry, and should price travel all the way to 1.5 hour, okay, which it did over here, then I'm going to move my SL to 1 hour. So I had my SL placed just around here for a 1 hour, and then later on, as soon as price got back, it had to pull back from here. This is initially a 2 hour. Price pulled back from here, you realize that it hit my tag me and my stop loss, and then I got out with a trade from the trade with a total of a 1 hour, which isn't bad at all. But then yes, the most important thing was that I was following my rules. And another important thing is that I found a room for improvement. So what I did was that next time, should I find myself in a similar situation, what I'm going to do is that should price travel to 1.5 hour, and then there's a structural low, right? In this case it's a buy. So if there's a structural low not so far from my 1 hour, it is much more ideal to move my SL below that structural low. And in this case, right, I have that being here, so placing my SL just beneath that structural low. Yes, it's beneath 1 hour, but not so significantly below 1 hour. And then should price take me out, then that is fine. It means that it is an indication of a clear pullback, or it could be a liquidity sweep and price could just move towards the upward side. Anyways, I've made peace with that, right? But should I have done that, then I would have had price hitting me at 2 hour, and that would have just been it for my phase one. So now from here, I wasn't really beat up at all. I just had to keep my cool and then waited for a clear cut opportunity. That was on Wednesday. So there was liquidity built up above these highs and below these lows, right? So initially I had to wait because the narrative for gold still remained the same. It was still bullish, right? So we had our pullback in here, and then I was waiting. Once we had our consolidation in price in here, and then we had price pulling back, there was that high chance that should price take out this high right here, then we could have price taking out this liquidity high and then that liquidity high again, and that could fuel another move towards the upward side. So I had my entry somewhere around here, and then my SL placed below all of these liquidity lows right here, and then I targeted a 2 hour trade. Okay, so it was a 2 hour trade overall, right? So as soon as price took out this high, I tagged my entry. You could see it swept all of these liquidity highs in here. After sweeping those liquidity highs, saw price came back to my entry, and then straight from there it went straight to TP. So these two trades were enough to get me through phase one, right? So you could see here on my FTMO client area on the account metrics, take note of the number in here, all right, and make reference to the old video to see if it's the same, right? You'd see balance currently standing well above 11,000, and profits there you could see it's already passed. I started this challenge on 16th July. I had a total trading days of 23, right? 23 days. It could be short for some people, but then for me it really felt like forever. But then the goal for this is that I intend not to rush at all. Goal is to keep the consistency and also be patient, right? And as long as I pass, that is enough, right? So sticking to my plan and making sure that the consistency remains, right? So back here you could see for all the trading objectives, everything met. Consistency score of about 83%, win rate of about 53%, 54% thereabout, sorry. But then as I said in the previous video, this is not a true reflection of my win rate, because there were some trades that I took that I broke even. Over here you could see there were some break-even trades, but then I closed in a minor profit to cover the commissions and potential swaps. So FTMO counts that as a full win, and it spikes up my win rate. Then there were some losses I took, like these two for instance, that weren't full losses. They were just small losses comparative to the total loss I'm supposed to incur, right? And then FTMO also obviously counts that as a full loss, so that affects my total win rate overall. It may be slightly above 54.55%, or it could be literally below that. But then all the same, we had an average profit of about 110 and average loss of about $65. All right, so what can I say? It's been one hell of a ride. I'm ready for phase two. Actually, I haven't taken any trades for phase two so far, because of the NFP data that was released today as at the time I'm recording this video. It's been released and it's currently set the tone for next week. That'll be all for this video. If you want to keep updated on this channel, you'd want to hit on the subscribe button, turn on post notification, and don't forget to like this video as well. You'd also find a link to our Telegram channel in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video.